right? Just ask yourself all the ways that you've engaged experts in your life, and then all of a sudden you have access to the internet, and you say, well, I'm not going to trust experts. I'm going to trust my own research. Could have ultimately lethal consequences if you're making decisions that affect your health and well-being.
That's astrophysicist and man obsessed with the sound of his own voice, Neil deGrasse Tyson, urging CNN viewers to stop questioning things and blindly trust experts moments after the network ran a segment of the government completely dismissing concerns about drones. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and for weeks now, people across the East Coast have been witnessing strange drones flying over residential areas, near military installations, and critical infrastructure. They appear to be concentrated near New Jersey and have generated national interest and speculation, which members of the Biden administration and establishment media want you to know is a bad thing.
The president-elect Donald Trump, he just called on the Biden administration for you guys to either release any information it has about these mysterious drone sightings or shoot the drones out of the sky. How do you respond to the president-elect?
Well, first of all, the statements I've made already are the principal message that I want to communicate to the American public. We haven't seen anything unusual. We know of no threat.
It's not just always renewed engagement. It's also being paired with a growing distrust of people like you who do what you do for a living, who back things up with data and facts and science. People don't always trust it if it doesn't confirm, their suspicions of something.
Yeah, this is a problem going forward. It's the loss of people's trust in experts. I mean, let's put it just out there in that way. And that's odd because if something happens to the plumbing in your house, are you going to say, oh, I'll fix it? Or do you call an expert?
Yeah, that's a great point. And I always trust the plumbers on that. I'm never trying to do anything myself.
It's awfully funny that they chose to use plumbers as an example, considering what low regard elites appear to hold for blue-collar workers. But the fact of the matter is their version of expertise is nothing like plumbing or any other trade. It's subject to a host of issues such as confirmation bias, selective reporting, funding bias, professional pressure, and compartmentalization. I mean, here's the expert Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about men and women in sports.
My point is, apparently, the XXXY chromosomes are insufficient. Because when we wake up in the morning, we exaggerate whatever feature we want to portray the gender of our choice. Either the one you're assigned, the one you choose to be, whatever it is. And so now, so now just to tie a bow on this, I say to you, somewhere I think I read that the United States was a land where we have the pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
Suppose no matter my chromosomes, today I feel 80% female, 20% male. I'm gonna put on makeup. I'm going to do that. Tomorrow I might feel 80% male. I'll remove the makeup and I'll wear a muscle shirt. Why do you care?
Yeah.
What business is it of yours to require that I fulfill your inability to think of gender on a spectrum?
This is the same guy, by the way, who Bill Maher called part of the problem for being too woke. The fact of the matter here is that establishment's experts seem to be wrong far more than they're right lately, and it's destroyed their credibility and any goodwill they've generated. But they're also egotistical and power hungry that they won't accept anything beyond blind compliance from Americans. Here's RFK Jr. tearing Tyson's style of expert worship apart.
In your case, you're so suspect, disbelieving of the FDA, the CDC. Where will you go if you were president for scientific information? On whom will you rely?
I'll rely who are the same sources that I rely on now, which is PubMed, which is, where the repository and the archives for peer-reviewed publication. And I will, listen, CDC and FDA, these are the same agencies that brought us the opioid crisis. They told us that opioids were safe and effective and were good for us. And now we have 56,000 American young people dying every year, more every year in the 20-year Vietnam War because these agencies got their science wrong. And they got it wrong because they're controlled high pharmaceutical companies. What we have to do as peoples, in a democracy, unfortunately, we are required not to listen, not to simply take on blind faith the statements of authorities, whether they're military authorities or public health authorities. We have to do our own homework. Blind faith and authority is a feature of religion. It's not of science. We are obligated to look at the science ourselves and make up our own minds. My uncle understood that, and that's why he didn't bomb Cuba during the Bay of...
RFK Jr. is absolutely correct that the left has turned expertise into a religion, and all you need to do to confirm that is look at how they treat people for the heresy of asking questions. I mean, it's their job to explain things to the public and back up their arguments. It's not the public's duty to blindly follow a bunch of self-righteous hypocrites simply because they wasted 8 years in college. But let me know what you think. How much faith should we have in experts at this point? Has the pushback gone too far or not far enough? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye.